Schroeder, ooh, good hands by THT. That was ticketed for out of bounds. Markeith has the throw. THT tries to stay with it. Montrez.
Being featured on the cover of the NBA 2K is every NBA player's dream. It is one of the many ways to know you have officially made it in the NBA. But what is NBA 2K, you ask? Well, it's just the most important basketball video game in the world. But what these players don't realize is that there's a popular curse associated with it. Let's check out the story behind the NBA 2K curse. Any basketball fan knows that it's just the cream of the crop that has the honor of making it all the way to the cover of this prestigious saga. However, if you look at all the players that have been featured on the cover, you would certainly notice a pretty suspicious trend following them lately. Apparently, NBA 2K only chooses disgruntled athletes with a desire to leave their teams to be featured on their cover. In fact, many of these players have left their franchise right after being featured as the cover athlete for the video game. Of course, many gamers and fans like to argue if this curse is legitimate, but if you ask us, we don't think it is. Similar to the Madden curse, the 2K curse is based on the theory that something bad happens to the cover athlete or their team after the cover is revealed. If you look at 2K, it is argued that the cover player leaves the team whose jersey he's wearing on the cover. So now that we have the new chosen one, Damian Lillard, it wasn't long before people started speculating about his future. It is important to note that he has been involved in several trade rumors throughout the course of his career, so why wouldn't the rumor mill just keep going now? That's why we have for you today a walk through the recent history of the NBA 2K cover curse, starting with NBA 2K14, LeBron James. There is no doubt that LeBron James is one of the best basketball players in the world, nor is there any doubt that he could have very well been the best player in the world in the year 2014. After his team, Miami Heat, came off a very heartbreaking loss in the finals versus the San Antonio Spurs, he felt like his time at South Beach was already at its end. That's why, immediately after being named the cover athlete for the NBA 2K14 edition, he decided that he would be taking his talents and skills back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. After this, he eventually led the Cavaliers to 4 straight trips to the finals. What's more, he even ended up winning the ring in 2016. NBA 2K15 and NBA 2K16, Kevin Durant. Making a name for himself as the most unstoppable scorer in the league during the 2014 season, it was only a matter of time for Kevin Durant to end up on the NBA 2K cover. Therefore, in 2015, NBA 2K decided to put him as the cover athlete for their 2015 edition. Needless to say, Kevin Durant had easily been one of the most beloved players in the league at the time. That's why he even got the chance to make it to back-to-back covers and got the nod again in 2016. However, this is where the curse came in, and he left the Oklahoma City Thunder to join the Golden State Warriors in what turned out to be one of the most controversial moves in NBA history. However, he did at least end up winning back-to-back rings and Finals MVPs. NBA 2K17, Paul George. A huge inspiration in the NBA, Paul George overcame a career-threatening injury in 2015 and managed to work his way back to the top of the league. He quickly became one of the best two-way players in the world, so of course NBA 2K had to reward him by putting him on the cover of the 2017 edition, despite having played on a small market. However, considering the fact that the Pacers refused to have him surrounded by all-star caliber players, George quickly made his way out of the franchise right after being granted this honor. He was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder and played there for 2 seasons before he moved back to the Clippers. NBA 2K18, Kyrie Irving. One of the most controversial moves by the NBA 2K18 was choosing Kyrie Irving to be on the cover of their 2018 edition. However, soon after being selected to be the cover athlete, Kyrie Irving asked to be traded away from the Cleveland Cavaliers all of a sudden. What's even more shocking is that he was traded even before the game had even been released. In fact, NBA 2K were forced to release 2 different covers because of Kyrie's move to the Boston Celtics. However, his time at the TD Garden did not go as expected, and he was forced to walk away as a free agent to join Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets. NBA 2K19, LeBron James. Making his way back to the cover of NBA 2K in the 2019 edition was none other than LeBron James. After a season of rumors about him expressing a desire to leave the Cavaliers for good this time were flying about, James was selected to be the cover athlete of the 20th anniversary edition. Of course, considering how he had dominated the league for 16 straight years, this only seemed fair. And just like everyone predicted, James immediately signed with the Los Angeles Lakers to attempt and take the team back to their championship-winning ways. However, he had to cut his first season short because of an injury, although he has managed to finally take back to the playoffs this season. NBA 2K20, Anthony Davis. And the latest edition of the NBA 2K curse was, of course, in the most cursed year of all, 2020. Anthony Davis was and still is the best big man in the world. However, it was also clear that he had certainly outgrown the New Orleans Pelicans. This is why NBA 2K decided to get him on the cover of NBA 2K20. Davis was pretty open in his demands to be traded, and this drew a lot of criticism from his former fans. However, the Pelicans decided to stay put and hold on to him throughout the season. But that didn't last long, and he was eventually traded to the Lakers in the summer. Now all that is left to see is who will make it to the cover this year and what team would be getting him next. This curse is quite bogus for many reasons. Firstly, the player isn't cursed just by leaving the team. After leaving Miami Heat, LeBron James went on to win a title while playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which means nothing bad came out of being on the cover for him. Kevin Durant also won 2 titles in Golden State after leaving Oklahoma City. And even Kyrie Irving ended up becoming the focal point of the Eastern Conference's top seed last season. And now let's talk about the teams these cover athletes leave that aren't really cursed either. After the Pacers swapped Victor Oladipo for Paul George, they saw great improvements. The Thunder saw Russell Westbrook reach his absolute peak while averaging a triple-double in back-to-back seasons and even winning an MVP in the process. And the Cleveland Cavaliers still managed to make their way to the NBA Finals, even without Kyrie. Moreover, if you consider Durant's departure from the team as part of a curse, then you're heavily mistaken, since KD made his way out of the team 2 years after appearing in the Thunder jersey on the cover of NBA 2K15. And if you look at Giannis, he still had 3 years left on his then deal. So should him leaving be called as part of the curse? We don't think so. Next, if you look at it objectively, a curse cannot really be controlled. According to Oxford, the meaning of curse is something intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. So if NBA 2K wanted to, they could simply resort to picking cover athletes that are locked into long contracts, such as Giannis. Other easy choices can also include Steph Curry or Russell Westbrook, since you know these guys aren't going to go anywhere in the near future based on their contract terms and the success they seem to have had on their current teams. So to conclude, there doesn't seem to be anything such as the NBA 2K cover athlete curse. If you look at James Harden, Anthony Davis, and Stephen Curry, who were on different covers of NBA 2K16 in 2015, you would find them to still be kicking it with the Rockets, Pelicans, and Warriors respectively. So it could all very well be just a weird coincidence and nothing else that you need to be worried about. And that's a wrap on the NBA 2K curse. What do you think about the relevant question to the video? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.